Yeah, hello guys, Cloudie here checking in from the America server, and today we are going to be looking at the Raider growth buff system, which is basically replacing the stat imprinting from the pets in game, the little raiders, which have now been scrapped from the game with the latest maintenance. To give you a real quick recap, when the pets were introduced into the game, they came with the stat imprinting that gave you passive buffs to your account, various stats that you would have if you had all the pets. The problem was that the pets were really hard to access and obtain, and there was also one specific type of pets, the line pets, that were only available for a short time and could only be bought for real money, and they brought real strong buffs for that. So these have been a thorn in many people's eyes for quite some time. Well, now Vespa has made all the buffs available to everyone, so this sounds good, but as the title of the video suggests, it does come at a price. So let's look at the whole chart and how you actually access this system. You need to click on your profile, and here is like this buff tab that will show you all these buffs that you can get. Now, the way it is working is that as you level up, these buffs will be unlocked. You can see it on the left side, what level you require to unlock the buff. At that point, you will receive it at a 0-star system or at a 0-star, and then you can rank it up using rubies. As you can see, for instance, I have this at 0-star, but I already get this base buff here. And if I spend rubies, then I will get the next level, which is quite nice. Now, altogether, there are 20 uncommon buffs, 20 rare buffs, which are these. Then there are 20 heroic buffs, which are the purple or pinkish ones, purple. And then there is ancient, which is 15. And at the very end, there is 8 legendary ones. These are the ones that are actually coming from the line pets. Now, all in all, if you wanted to get this, that would be upwards of 1.5 million rubies. So as you can see, yes, everyone can get them now, but it's not really realistic that you will be getting them. Now, the green buffs, they take only 200 rubies to update. So that should be fine. It's not, or sorry, it's only 100 rubies actually. So updating all 20 of them once is 2,000 rubies. The buffs themselves aren't really that big, so it's up to you. Now, if you have been playing when you had the pets, then you would have all of these, probably because it was really easy to get the uncommon and the rare pets. If you have a new account, then you are kind of stuck because you need to unlock everything now. So yeah, I don't know, Vespa could have done this maybe a bit better for new players, I guess. But this is what we have now. Now, moving on, the rare ones. So we have 20 of the rare ones. If you wanted to upgrade all of those to 2 stars, then you would need 500 rubies per upgrade, so 1k per stat, which means 20k for all the 20 stats. As you can see, these are also not terribly big buffs, like 1k or 1% attack here, or 200 attack there. I guess they do add up if you get like everything, but these are really small buffs, so not really the big leagues. And then there is the heroic buffs, which are slightly bigger. Now these cost a lot. It costs 2,000 rubies per stage, and you have 3 of them. So that would cost you 80k to upgrade every heroic buff to 1 star. And then 80k again, and then again. So that's already getting into the pretty heavy spending area. And these are only still the heroic buffs. And then ancient is where things get interesting, and we can look a bit more deeply into these. Let's see which ones might be interesting and which ones might not be. So the first one is the one that you get level 10, damage dealt in all field raids. I would just try to skip these, especially because these buffs, they start at 3,600 rubies for the first 3 stars, so until this part. And then the last 2, or the 2 more, will be 7,200 each. And the final star is 10k, 10.8k actually. So that's a lot. That's a hell lot of rubies to spend. If you, it's 36k to max one of these, and if you wanted all 15 of them, that would be 540k rubies in total to max all 15 legendary or ancient buffs. So probably you will have to make some choices here. Starting with the first one that you unlock at level 10, damage dealt in all field rates. Nobody cares about these. I would not spend. I have this buff from the pets I had before. Again, then moving on, level 20, damage dealt against World Boss Proteanus. Now there are some crazy people who are really obsessed with world bosses, or this is where they really want to measure themselves against other people. So if you are one of these and if you really want to build for one of the world bosses, then I guess it can be worth. But yeah, otherwise I wouldn't. So I think this is just for those people who want to be really competitive in world bosses. The next one is also World Boss Mountain Fortress and then World Boss Xanadu. So these ones I would personally skip, and that's already 100k skip just from world bosses, and then another 36k from the field rates. So we are skipping a lot of rubies spent. Damage dealt in all dragon raids. Now it would be interesting to know if the divine punishment raid is considered a dragon raid. Technically, I mean, Younger skill works on dragons, so it might be. Honestly, I do not know, but I wouldn't spend on this because that's just one content, and it's, you know, once you beat it, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't. I don't think this is worth. So let's move on. Now, damage dealt in all Shockmate battles, kind of the same. I also got this from the pets. Shockmate can be a bit tough, especially the big Shockmate. You kind of need a specific team for it. But once you have beaten it at the maximum level, then you can just skip it ahead, and it doesn't really matter if you do 10% more damage. And also these jumps are really, really small. It's like... So again, I would say not worth to spend on this one either. Damage dealt in Eclipse. The difference is so small. Again, Eclipse can be tough, but it doesn't really matter. Again, I would say how much damage you do. You might get a little bit further ahead, but it won't be this 1.5% attack that really helps you out. Of course, it might go up to like 5% or 10% even, but it's very rare that because at the end you either one-shot something or you don't. So I don't think this one is really worth either. Damage dealt in all Technomagic Kingdom raids. Well, Technomagic Kingdom raids are tough at the beginning when you are getting there, but after a while you just get to farming them, and honestly, once you can farm like stage 7 on something, it really doesn't matter anymore. So again, not something that I would pour my rubies into. Damage dealt in Guild Conquest. Now this is interesting for those people who are in a competitive guild for Guild Conquest, and that they do a DPS there. So all you Urzi and Clio players, I guess. If you are in a guild like that, then yeah, this one is a buff you probably want to get. Again, not terribly big numbers, like after 3 stars it's 1%, woohoo. But you know, when you are min-maxing and in the top, I guess this one matters. So for this one I would get, but only if you are interested in Guild Conquest and playing a DPS. And then max HP in League of Victory. So at the beginning, this is 5%, which is quite nice with a 1 star. But then the jumps are fairly small, so and it's kind of expensive, you know. So I wouldn't really bother too much with this one. League of Victory is like, you know, also this farm content that you can just do. And sure, having a bit more HP is nice, especially if you are in the higher leagues where it's a bit tougher. But for this kind of rubies, you can do a lot of resets, I think, so maybe it's just not worth it. And then the same for attack in League of Victory, like, alright, you get a bit of a buff, but it's like whatever. And then max HP in League of Honor. Now, League of Honor is a lot more competitive than League of Victory. You only have a limited amount of entries, and you get to meet a lot of tough teams, especially again in the higher ranks. So this one could be alright if you are serious about League of Honor. And the jump between this one, between the 0 stars and the 1 star is pretty big. So I would consider putting at least 1 star in it. But if you go back here, then you can see that after that the jumps become pretty small again. So might be worth just to go with 1 to get that 5%, and then it's up to you whether you want to spend on it. As you can see, 2 star is also very small. from 5.6 you go to 6.2, so it's not really that much worth to keep investing in it once you have gotten like 1 star here. And then we have max HP in Guild War. Even Vespa knows that nobody really cares about Guild War. Again, unless you are in one of those guilds that are super hardcore about it. So I would not bother too much with this one. Same rules apply with the previous one. And then attack in Guild War, again, much the same. It's like 0.6% per upgrade. It's like almost nothing for that kind of investment. So I think this is just really for the super whales who kind of want to bother. And then we have arrived to the final tier of the buffs, which is the legendary ones from the line pass. Now, to the best of my knowledge, these are on their own layer, which means that they are counted after all your other multipliers, which means that they are a lot more effective, and this is reflected in their price. So 1% extra magic defense, probably not the most interesting stuff. Like you could use it in like Proteanus, or not Proteanus, Divine Punishment rate maybe. It might help a bit in various things, and of course in PvP, but not the most interesting stat. Then there is the same for PDEF. And as you move up, magic resistance, so this is toughness, could be good, account-wide toughness, that's kind of nice, makes you a lot more tankier. And as you move on, there has been a few more interesting stats which I kind of skipped over, at least these ones. So let's talk about some of these heroic ones, because these are sort of expensive-ish. Remember 80k to buff or to get all of them up. It's 2k per upgrade. So 2k per upgrade, that's 6k to max out one of these. Not a terribly high number, but let's see if it's actually worth. So increases rate coin gain. It depends, really. The good thing about rate coins is that you can turn them into gold and that you can craft NPC stuff with it. So it could be a good thing. If you farm a lot, then you may not really be short on these. So could be good, could be bad. I mean, I might actually put like 2k into this just to get a bit more out of it. I think that might be worth, because then you can convert it to gold, and gold is really short, something that you are always short on, especially if you are upgrading gears and doing soul weapons and whatnot. So that might be good. Additional boss crystal game from Technomagic Kingdom raid. Kind of depends at what stage you are of in the game. If you are in a stage where you still need to gear up a lot of characters, then this could be good because you can just craft more stuff. But once you get past that crafting stage, I think this one loses a lot in value, so I personally wouldn't take this one. Additional gold gained from dispatch battles. Now this one starts at like an X40 and goes to 110 at 1 star. So I actually use my rubies on this to try it out. So this means if you are using 1k stamina in dispatch battles, and only dispatch battles for some reason, then you get 110k gold back with your other rewards. And like, that sounds okay, but it really isn't, because considering the prices that everything costs, like say if you are crafting a Technomagic piece that costs 9 million with all the options selected, and then this is like 100k for 1k stamina. So if you farm away 10k stamina, then you get 1 million gold from it. I mean, it would help to balance the sheets a bit, but all in all, only if you really do dispatch a lot. And again, it depends what stage of the game you are at. I do not really use my stamina potions outside of events that are usually not really friendly towards dispatch battles. They might be in the future. So for now, I think this one isn't really worth either. It's only 6k rubies, so if you are swimming in them, it could be good. It could help with your gold consumption if you are, again, dispatching a lot. But in general, I do not think that this is a terribly good piece. Then again, magic resistance, that's a good stuff. Oh yeah, bonus stamina, I forgot this one. Meh. I mean, it's just a little bit of extra stamina per day compared to the number you get when you have like a high level account. This isn't really too helpful. Magic resistance, yeah, we mentioned, and then we have increases shock me rewards, so selected only. This one, on the other hand, I think is pretty good because you get the reward. Shock me is a really limited content, and then you can get quite a bit of good stuff out of it. Some people use it for gold because they are very broke and need the gold from it, but you can also get like decent artifacts, you can get unique weapon fragments, unique treasure fragments. So I think this one is actually a good investment. You throw 6k at it, and then you will be getting a lot of good stuff. Then more bonus stamina. I actually missed that there was 2 of these, but still, it's like what else. Discount on soul weapon, ether injection and enhancement. Now this is the one that we've been waiting on the most with this patch, I'm not gonna lie, because soul weapon enhancement just costs so much gold. Like it's like 1 billion plus 20 something in that range, and just getting like a 10% off of that would be already 100 million gold. So you can see why we thought that this was gonna be really good, and it doesn't seem to work. Like, we have compared numbers with people who have put rubies in it and people who have not, and it was the exact same ether cost and the exact same gold cost. So I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, maybe it's broken, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. So if you guys know anything about this one, let me know, because we haven't seen any effect. I know Yon has put rubies into it, and it costs him exactly the same as it costs me, who doesn't, or I have like a 1 star. So yeah, I don't know what this is about. Again, might just be a bug, and then will be fixed in the future. Increases gold gain from battles. This one I think is really not worth, because you do not really get that much gold out of battles in the first place, especially the ones that you are actually farming. Like techno magic raids do not give you, or battles do not give you gold at all. And even in Stockade, the biggest money gain you get is actually from the boxes, not the gold that drops from the battle. So this isn't so useful either. On the long run, of course, you could get it for a battle balance sheet, or better, I can't pronounce better, oh god. So a better balance sheet. But again, yeah, up to you if you have 6k spare. And then we have arrived to the final stretch, which is starting at level 190, so you have to level up a lot for this. Physical resistance, so the toughness again can be good, especially because there is a lot of physical DPS teams out there, and if it's just your backline that gets a bit more toughness, that can be really helpful with survival. Attack speed, now this seems fairly low. I do not know how high this goes actually. But yeah, I mean, attack speed is usually rated a bit lower, nobody gets too much of that. Penetration, again, depends how high this goes. Penetration is fairly good, especially in PvP, where you usually tend to need a lot of it. So this one could be good. Sorry, my voice is breaking down after this much talking. But the cost is really heavy. To get all of these, to get this up to maximum is 90k rubies, because it costs 9,000 for the first 3, and then 18k for the second, or for 2 more, and then the last one is 27k. And if you wanted all of these, that's 720k rubies. So you really have to kind of be picky with which ones you like. Max HP is kind of nice to have in most contents, but usually I kind of would say that this is mainly a PvP thing, because in PvE you usually get around without needing max HP or more of max HP. It's very rare that you either don't have shields or you get one tapped. So again, way too much investment needed here. And then the last one, attack. Now, as we have said, you get you are on your this one is getting its own layer. That's to the best of my knowledge. So this one is the one that I would actually burn that 90k rubies on. But boy, 90k rubies. Actually, let's see how, I'm not sure how high it goes. So let's just see if we use 1. So it went up from 2% from the base value. And then it grows after that by 0.4. So that's not a lot. That's not a lot at all. Yeah, so I guess the maximum will be 5% that you can reach if you drop that 90k rubies. Let's do it one more. Yeah, you can see it's 0.4% again. All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna burn all my rubies. It feels bad. It feels like my life is slipping away. But yeah, again, if you are really competitive and min-maxing, this is probably the one that I would go for. But boy, Vespa, you did put a heavy toll on these things. So there you have it, guys. These are my thoughts on the new stat upgrade system. There are some interesting stuff in there, and I guess Vespa's intention is to make us use rubies more and buy rubies more, because we have had a lot of stuff in the special shop that was only sold for real money, and meanwhile rubies kind of turned into this stuff that you just hoarded and spent over time during events and stuff. So maybe this is what they are trying to break up now with these legend costumes that cost a lot and are only there for a limited time. Not quite sure how I feel about it and what it does to the game being free to play friendly, but yeah, this is the route we are going now. So this is the system. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna stop now before my voice completely breaks. And this has been Cloudie for now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.